I've heard you in the comments screaming, what is it going to take to end this cycle of chaos for the United States? And what if I told you that part of the answer lies in everyone putting on their glasses? So I know many of you who've lived through the 1980s, like I have, and who recognize these glasses and flannel shirt from the movie They Live, will appreciate the first movie clip that I have to show that reflects where we're at, that will take us to this next destination that we are so ready for. Please watch to the end of this video to see the most shocking movie clip of this movie. So here's a message from the movie that represents where we are right now. Now, whether you've seen that movie before or not, that movie clip really does share an opening theme for the video today, which is about the revealing of things that have been below the surface. And if you look at when that movie was made in the 1980s, it's been under the surface for quite a while. And now we're becoming more and more aware, which is part of the reason for this time that we're going through. The hard part is many of us already have our glasses on. However, there are others who don't. And as much as we may say, please, please put the glasses on, they may not. They may choose not to. In the movie, the main character's friend was very resistant to putting the glasses on. In fact, he had to beat the living you-know-what out of him. It was the longest fight scene, I think, in any movie in modern history. His friend finally puts the glasses on and they see things and work together to try to solve some problems. In the real world, however, we may have to accept that some people even close to us, friends or family, may choose not to put them on. That's the hard part. That is one of the messages for today, is that we live on a free will planet. And we may know some people that will be surprised. We'll be surprised that they won't put them on. And then there'll be others that will be surprised they do. And this is part of the human experience. This is part for them to decide. But I think we're all just hoping that during this last round of insanity, that there'll be enough there for them to see. There's an important second part of this message. And that is what Spirit really wants me to focus on now with the cards. And it has to do with the programming has been increased to include the narrative that the other is our enemy. Our neighbor that doesn't believe like we do. A friend who voted differently than we did. Someone of a different race or a different religion. These are our enemies. These are the ones that caused all the problems that we have. That is new programming. And that is programming that has been played 24/7 for the last decade at least. It's an addition to, and it's one of the most damaging parts of what we are trying to separate ourselves from. And so it's a heavier message that I have from Spirit. And it has to do with what is being stolen from us while we bicker. Almost a wake-up call, like we have a choice. We can stop believing this outside noise that says we should be divided so that others can do what they want to do and we're distracted. Or we can acknowledge that while there's some people we are never going to get along with, and some people who really, are disruptive and don't add anything to the narrative, we're going to need each other. We're going to need each other because in the next video, it becomes very clear that we're going to be leaning on each other a lot. So let's see what the cards have to say. And let's see, is there a way, Spirit, is there a way that we can start seeing each other differently and acknowledging that we have been programmed to not trust, dislike, blame our fellow human beings and not the systems that have caused a majority of the problems that we have? How can we step out of that energy and step more into the energy of unity that we are going to need by necessity? We may never invite that neighbor across the street because they're just clash with our personality. But that doesn't mean that we can't hold some values of where we want to see our country go and work together on that. We just don't have to celebrate at the after party together. How can we shift that? This is a really big part of what's holding us in this cycle. How can we shift this, Spirit? It's easier said than done. Okay. How can we shift this, Spirit? The King of Wands. And this is a strong male energy, but also the wands are creativity. The wands are more action. So this is a card of action and needing that male energy to help lead the way. Now, that being said, I've gotten so many messages that we're going into the divine feminine, and that is still happening. But this is an invitation to say, everyone, gender, this is not a gender, again, we're not just discriminating against gender, men and women, the divine masculine, the divine feminine that's in all of us. This is a card of action. This is a card of fire. We need to unite with the fire in our belly, knowing that there's something beyond our individual selves. And the king here has the strength card behind him, that we have the strength. We just have to summon it in ourselves to see each other differently and realize that we need to unify for something bigger. Really interesting. I wasn't expecting that card, but it was such a good message. Okay, what else? What else do we need to know? How can we see this differently, Spirit? Oh. The Queen of Wands, of course. We need the divine feminine too. And this is fire. I'm getting chills. I'm getting these two, the King and the Queen of Wands, the feminine energy of action, the male energy of action, coming together and creating. I see these two positive energies uniting and creating a new narrative. A new narrative by the divine feminine and the divine masculine working together. Because that's another area too that we could probably take another look at, is the divine feminine and the divine masculine working better together in the future. Wow, they're just hitting all the topics today. We're covering it all. All right, what else? What else? What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? Judgment. Twofold on this. Use your judgment. Use your discernment. We were given that part of us that says, that doesn't seem right. Or I heard something about so-and-so, but that doesn't seem like them. Or the news said this, but that sounds wrong. Use your judgment now more than ever. As shown in the movie, people that didn't use their own judgment and gave their power away were easily programmed. And use your judgment when it comes to the people that you listen to. Always ask yourself, is this coming from a pure place, or is there something or someone that's benefiting from me hearing this? Who benefits from this message? Who benefits from this message? There's something else coming in. Okay. Right now, we are stepping into a lot of that fire energy again. And this is the year of the fire horse. So we want people that have done damage to be judged. We want justice and judgment. And in order to get there, we have to unite to rectify a system that hasn't been given fair judgment. So if we want that, we have to work to create an environment that allows for reasonable judgment. Now, I'm going to see if I can get any final messages from Spirit, because when I was hearing they want to talk about fear is a lie, I want to get more on that. So Spirit, is there anything else? I'm seeing all these billboards, and I'm seeing fear is a lie. Love wins. Fear, and it disappears. I'm seeing faith over fear. Trust yourself. And now I'm seeing all the billboards come together and merge into one very profound message. I'm getting a little choked up with this. And what I see on that billboard is love wins. When we can step into the energy of love over fear, of love over hate, of understanding that we're all connected, that is when this cycle ends. And now I'm getting all right, so I know that this video seems like we're revisiting things that we already know, but it's important to know where you're at, to know where you're going. So this is the you are here part. In the next video, the reclaiming, I am starting to see us coming together. And there's an energy here of reclaiming our country. But in order to do so, we have to get through this step first. And it's never a message to any of us to embrace people who are abusive or cause intentional pain or who are violent. That's not what we're talking about. It's about being able to set aside some of the programming that has been going on for so long and stepping more into that love energy. Easier said than done, I know. Hard to love that neighbor across the street. But maybe we don't hate them. Maybe we don't see them as the enemy. So thank you for watching. And now, as promised, I have a clip that's going to shock you as much as it shocked me. If you please turn the volume up. It is an important it's an important message, but you need to look at it or hear it to pay attention to the year. And just a reminder, this movie was released in 1988. So, also, if you'd like to see the movie They Live, it's free on YouTube with ads. So thank you, YouTube, for offering us this movie for free. And I'll put a link in the description box, so if you want to see it, if you've never seen it or you want to re-see it, check it out there. But here is the last message.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
I want to take a minute to say thank you to all my new subscribers, existing subscribers, and everyone who watches and supports this channel. I appreciate you so much. I always love reading your comments and responding. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and you'll join me for the next one, where we start getting into a lot of action. So take care, keep your glasses on, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.